Alright, so today it's another day, but I'm trying to get back in the habit of uploading more often, getting into a better habit of filming, so I'm gonna do another video for you guys. Of course, my truck is still broken, but however, there's a cool part I want to show you, so check this out. I'm super stoked this came in. So if you follow my Instagram, which I'll tag somewhere up in this general vicinity, I posted a video about it on my story and I went insane when I got this thing. So a lot of you have been asking, what are you doing with your transmission setup? And this has been the thing that I've been talking about for the last month. Let's get out in the sunlight and look at this thing. Oh yeah, look at that. So this is a modern driveline, small block Ford to TKO bell housing adapter, but it's not really an adapter if you think about it. It's perfectly flat. There's no adapting part of it. It's just really a spacer. And so what this spacer does is, and so like I said, I have basically a 6-inch input shaft and my new one has a 7-inch. So this bell housing didn't work because this is only 6 inches deep. Now to run this bell housing with my other transmission that has a 7-inch, I need to gain that extra inch, which is exactly what this piece does. So what this will do, it's quite literally just sit on top of this guy right here like that, and then you'll put your bolt holes through it like normal, and it literally just acts as a spacer. Now this was a literally almost $200 spacer, which is quite ridiculous in my own opinion. It's literally just a CNC block of aluminum, which I can honestly design myself, but I don't know, whatever. It's kind of one of those you gotta bite the bullet kind of deals, but that's here finally, so we can actually get the truck running. So one thing I have to do before that actually happens is make sure this bell housing is nice, because as you probably could understand, everything underneath the truck in terms of drivetrain wise is brand new. Brand new flywheel, clutch, drive shaft, transmission, everything is new, and I'm really not in any particular reason gonna throw this just destroyed bell housing back in with all those new parts. So this is the original bell housing. As you can tell, there's a grease that is literally just caked onto it, and I need to restore this thing. So we're probably going to do something similar to what I did with the intake manifold. If you didn't see that video, I'll go ahead and I'll show it up right now. I've always liked this cast bare aluminum finish. This always looks awesome. So yeah. And in that video, what I did is I pretty much stripped all the paint off and wire brushed it clean, and then I kind of clear coated it and I painted a couple spots. I really just cleaned it up for little to no money. So I'm going to do the same thing with this bell housing. I'm not going to go into crazy detail because it is a bell housing. You're not even going to see it, but it's just the fact I don't like it just coated in grease. Like that's supposed to say Fomico. You can't really tell. But this thing is really nasty, so I'm going to clean it up. It weighs an absolute ton, which sucks because I have to go from the aluminum one that's on it right now, take that nice aluminum one off and put this cast one back on. It's kind of a bummer, but I guess it's all part of the process, so we will be able to use this. And so the nice thing about this, which is the reason I'm going back to the stock bell housing, is this little guy right here, which actually attaches my clutch fork to the bell housing, gives it a pivot point. This is what my current bell housing is missing, and is why my clutch system was failing so bad, is because I'm missing this little clip. Now I could probably drill and install the pins in that bell housing, but it would just make more sense to go with a correct geometry from the original bell housing, which is what I'm doing by using this one. So I'm going to reuse that one, but as you can tell just from picking it up like that, I have a lot of cleaning up to do inside and out of this thing. So this is going to be a lot of work, but we're definitely going to clean this up. I'm going to show you guys how to clean it up pretty easily, and we'll get this thing on the road. So I'm probably going to hook up with Sean. My power washer is at his house, so I need to go down there and get this thing power washed off. I'll probably use a little bit of degreaser and oven cleaner. Oven cleaner is literally $1. You can go to the 99-cent store and get it. I'll show you the can I used, and we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing cleaned up pretty easily. So we'll get right into this. Alright, so we're back down here, and then there's this truck. We're probably not going to see an update until we actually get like larger body panels off, because it's boring taking off small things.
It gets repetitive after a while.
Yeah, but anyways, we have, I'm going to try, this is just what we had, which is like a grill barbecue cleaner, but it said the word burned on grease, so that sounds promising. So I'm going to try that first. We're just going to coat it, let it sit, scrub it a little bit, and then power wash the crud out of it. But yeah, it's really, really gnarly caked on, so hopefully this stuff works. We're going to try it on the exterior. It's really bad on the interior of the bell housing, so we'll see how it works on the outside. Sean's warming up his quad because, you know, it's just kind of some of the things you do when you're bored. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just an old nice wire brush. Just got to agitate all that grease up. You can tell that stuff's coming somewhat right off. Probably not. It's just smearing around, but I don't know. We'll see. Alright, now that's like kind of slathered around. It looks like some rolled on paint. This is destroyed. My Yeezys are ruined, and we're going to power wash it now.
Who needs air cleaner?
Honda. They're supposed to sound like that. It's fine. Getting it good there. Alright, so now I'm going to leave this sit a little bit. The other side came out really good. I don't know, I'll show you guys in a second. That side came out pretty good. I'm gonna let this side sit. Why am I bothering cleaning the inside? Because I don't want all the dust and chunks to get on the clutch, because this is all new stuff I'm putting in, like I said, so I'd like to at least just clean it. It doesn't take that much effort. Look at all the junk that came off of it. It's all grease and oils.
Nasty.
Nasty. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. Alright, so now you guys can get a little bit of a better look of what it looks like now. It's really rusty, a lot more rusty than I thought it was gonna be. I don't think, honestly, even after cleaning it, it'll come out like a silver color, so I'm most positively probably gonna end up painting this thing. But we'll go with silver, so it'll match the trans underneath. Everything underneath will be pretty much the same color, so I have a little bit more cleaning to do. Obviously, every time I touch it, I still get grease on my hands. The outside, there's still spots of grease that need to get off, and then I just wanna get the major spots of grease and junk off so I can wire wheel it and then get that little surface bit off that's hard to get off. So I went and bought a bunch more oven cleaner, so I'm gonna coat that on, let it sit, and then just spray it off with the hose. I've got all the heavy stuff off of the power washer, so we're just on the last little end. Alright, so we're taking the rest of the video back into the garage. I've already kind of started cleaning some spots, but you can tell this is a spot that I kind of roughly wire wheeled real quick, and then this is spots that I haven't. So I'm just going to go over the entire thing, because power washing only will do so much, as you can see in all these little crevices that just it doesn't do much. So I got to take the wire brush. I'm just being super simple with it. This is just like a Harbor Freight pack, 5-pack of wire brushes that I just put on the drill. Alright, so we got this thing very clean in terms of, I know it's still rusty, but it's clean. There's no grease on it, inside really or out. So now I'm going to go ahead and lay just a simple 2-in-1 primer, nothing crazy. I'm not going to do any sanding afterward. I'm literally just going to probably do a coat, a nice heavy coat now, and then a lighter coat tomorrow morning. And then I will go ahead and spray the silver over that. So we're going to go ahead and lay this real quick. Alright, well, I didn't film it, but I'm sure you guys have seen primer being laid a ton of times, so this thing came out really, really good. It's still wet. I literally just sprayed it. And then don't really worry too much about getting up here. I'm actually probably, once I install this thing, I'm going to go ahead and take some sandpaper and strip these flat edges and inside of here. Just because it's a contact point and it might get worn off anyways. But I don't know, we'll see. But regardless, the thing came out super, super good. You can definitely, the reason you want to clean it before you paint it is you can definitely see all the spots that weren't cleaned properly. And what I mean by that is in these small crevices, like there's one over there versus this one. You can see a lot more junk in that one. Same with over here. And you can see all the little bits of junk in the corners that I missed. But not a big deal. I mean, it's a bell housing. You're not going to see it. So like I showed you guys, this is the primer that I use. It's super simple. I use that on a lot of applications, and then this is the color that I'll be going with. I've already dropped it on my nice messy greasy floor. So, but this is a just an engine enamel, and it was like an aluminum finish color. So I had a choice between a cast color and aluminum color, and I kind of wanted to cheat the system. And since I have an aluminum bell housing on it, I want to make this one look like an aluminum bell housing, but even though it's cast. So I went with the aluminum color, so it'll match the transmission, hopefully. Probably not, but at least we'll try to get close. All right, I know you guys probably can't see anything here. I'm gonna try to get a light. Okay, so I hope you guys can see something at least. This GoPro does terrible in the light, I know that. But we are actually back pulling the transmission out. So I just finished like 2 videos. There's 2 videos that are gonna go up probably before this one. One would be regarding the bell housing, I believe, and the other one being a trailer. So this truck needs to drive, so we are in a time crunch. It's Thursday right now. I have a car show. It was supposed to be out today. It didn't happen. I'll explain why later. And I have another one I absolutely need to be at on Saturday. So that's kind of my kicking the butt to get this thing done. So the transmission is coming out right now. I already have a clutch on order, or I will possibly use this clutch depending on what goes on. But if I believe I mentioned I have to put the stock bell housing back in. This bell housing is, I'll give you a brief rundown of what's going on. So this bell housing uses a 157 tooth, 28 ounce flywheel. The starter is lined up for that. The engine backing plate is lined up for that. And the stock bell housing, which I'm putting back in it, is meant for a 164 tooth, 28 ounce flywheel. And so if you can kind of put that together, one's a smaller diameter and the starter will not work with this 157 tooth flywheel. It's kind of one thing I thought about last minute. It was just kind of a stupid brain fart I never even thought about. So we have to put a different flywheel in this thing, which really sucks because I have the McLeod flywheel and the center force clutch. I'm hoping I can at least use the clutch. I believe it's a 10 or a 10.5 inch clutch. And then I just got to figure out what works and what doesn't. So we're pulling this thing off. I'm going to take some measurements, get a flywheel ordered overnight tonight. It's going to be super expensive, but just have to get it done. So I'm super tired and I'm really pacing, I know. But we've already got the truck jacked up. It's been like 15 minutes working on it. We're just getting it jacked up in the air. Sam's pulling the drive shaft out right now, and he pulled the shifter out, and then I'm going to get underneath it and actually pull the transmission out itself. So we're going to take the cross member out, 2 bolts on the cross member, have a jack holding it up, 4 bolts on the trans, slide it out, and then buzz the bell housing and the clutch and the flywheel off, and then hopefully get the measurements tonight, get it ordered, and put it all back together tomorrow. Hopefully, let's hope this works. Oh my gosh, I hope this works. Just has to be done by 3 o'clock on Saturday. That's my only goal. So I have like 2 days to get this thing completely done. Might like to get it done tomorrow, but we'll see. So yeah, it is up on jack stands. Not as high, not nearly as high as we had it the first time, but this will just make it a little bit easier. Sam's getting that drive shaft out, taking the 4 bolts, and then we'll just slip that out. Everything up top is already taken off. You can see the shifter's out, and then the cover over here. I got comments saying, why do I have a Chevy symbol covering that? Well, we were in a rush as well, so we just slapped 2 pieces of tape on it. It just came out that way. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get underneath this thing. Hopefully I can do it really, really quickly once the drive shaft's out. I'm gonna put, I think, a rubber glove over the tail seal. I'm not gonna drain the transmission fluid. I hope this thing doesn't spill all over the place. I believe it has a new seal in it, so it shouldn't be too terrible. It'll drip a little bit, but I'm just hoping it doesn't pour out of the tail seal, because I really do not want to take the transmission fluid back out of this thing. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing out hopefully pretty quick. I'll explain what's going on, and I'll come back probably tomorrow and we'll get this thing hopefully back together. I can make a better update. All right, so sorry if the video seems a little bit vague. I'm a wreck, as you can tell. I've been just working on the entire truck, getting the transmission pulled out of it, which I'll explain. I have a lot of stuff I've gotten done. I actually went out and I bought a very, very important item to me that you guys will see in the next video. And then after that, you'll see me tearing apart and hopefully putting back together my truck finally for the last time. I have a lot of explanations to do. Me being stupid ordering and just installing wrong parts and starting all over. So there's a lot of explaining I gotta do. But just know that this thing is gonna go back together. It's gonna look awesome with this bell housing. So I'm gonna show you guys all that stuff in the next couple of videos. So stay tuned for that. Drop a like if you did enjoy the video. That would really mean a lot to me. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know any questions, comments, or concerns. I'll try to answer. I've been incredibly busy, so I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to comments very well. I'm super tired, as you can tell in my voice. I'm just not very consistent, so I'm just trying to relax, I guess you could say. So we have the truck completely apart. I just ordered a bunch of stuff that I know is the right stuff this time. There is no way this can physically be wrong, but I know there's always going to be something, right? Just because I said that. So hopefully that all checks out. So you'll see that in probably the next 2 days or so. I'll have a video on what I bought, and then I will also have a video, hopefully, this thing driving very soon. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next video. So thank you so much for watching.
No, it's full stainless exhaust.
I hear him. Travis, move.
And you two are the 2 import boys here.